into the playoffs. Hi everybody, it's your host B Robo, and I'm sorry that this video is coming out so late. I have been sick with the flu, couldn't really talk very well, and I couldn't get my voice any higher than this at all. I couldn't talk any higher than this, and I'm very sorry about that. But what an exciting last couple weeks it's been. Macon's been on a tear into the last regular season, last regular games of the season, and now in their inaugural season they're going into the playoffs. And I allowed the playoff picture to unfold and get into the last couple stages, and now we know exactly who we're playing, and we're playing against Peoria, unfortunately. But then again, Macon's had about 12 to 13 days rest while everybody else played out the rest of their season. So it's a double-edged sword, really, if you think about it, because yes, they're getting a lot of rest, but then again, things can get kind of, flaky when it comes to coming back into hockey mode. I mean, you don't get a chance to stay warm and stay hype and stay into the game. You've had all this time to rest and just, relax, and it's kind of hard to get back into that game mode. Especially when it's coming into the first round of the playoffs and Macon Mayhem are playing against Peoria Rivermen, who are the top dog in the league, and it's up to Macon to take them out. And honestly, in my opinion, if Macon takes them out, which I have a good feeling that they will, and I'll tell you why, it's going to make the rest of the playoffs very, very interesting for everybody else that's in it, because they don't have to worry about a team like Peoria being in it. But first of all, I want to say that I feel like Macon has a chance to win this series because, number one, they've had a very long time to rest. And Peoria is only going on for like maybe 3 or 4 days rest. I think their last game was this past Saturday. So they've had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days rest, and 3 days to prepare for Macon. Macon's had 12 to 13 days to prepare for Peoria. And the best way I think Macon has prepared for it is that they were able to watch video of the games that Peoria's lost and other team success, because Macon has not beaten Peoria all season long. I think they've played them a total of 5 times and lost dramatically all 5 times to them. So it's interesting how this playoff series is going to work out. Now, a couple notable things to talk about in the playoff series for the Mayhem versus the Rivermen is that earlier in the season, Macon made a trade. They got rid of that would have been their top scorer, honestly, and Connor Toomey, who's having a record-breaking rookie season here in the SPHL. Macon traded him away to get an offensive lineman in Jake Trask, and a great, fantastic defenseman in Nick Grasso, and both of them have played very well for Macon. Connor Toomey's played amazing for Peoria, and he's honestly their shares their top scorers with a couple of their other guys. Peoria is more of a complete team. They don't have any leading scorers because they spread them around. All 3 of their lines are so dangerous in scoring, and they got one of the greatest defensemen in Greenside, who's amazing to have on any team. He's an offensive force out there. So it's going to be very difficult, honestly, for Macon, but I feel like now that they have a new acquisition in Matt Summers. I met Matt today. Great guy, and it's hard to believe that they let that kind of guy go in Peoria, especially when he recently won an award through their Peoria's newspaper about being a fan favorite and a contributor to the community there. And they let a guy like that go. I can see why Macon picked him up immediately, especially right here at the end of the season. I hate to see Anton Lenartson go, but when you replace Anton Lenartson with a guy like Matt Summers, I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it, and I think it's a great idea in a whole, and I think it's going to help out in this playoff series against Peoria, who, he's obviously been with the team for a very long time. He knows how the coaching works there. He knows how the system works there, and it's going to, honestly, in my opinion, give Macon an edge. And the last time Macon played Peoria was back in February. That was a long time ago, and and the Mayhem have changed considerably since the last time they played them, and to me it's a big deal. It's a big help, and I think with Macon being able to have all this time off, everybody's injuries or any kind of nagging injuries has been healed. Macon's 100%. Peoria is going off of 3 days rest, and I think Macon has an opportunity to take this. The first game is Wednesday, tomorrow night from this recording, here in Macon, and I'm so glad to be able to call that game from the broadcasting booth with my partner Alec Kessler, and hopefully it's not our last game we call together this season, because I mean, he's an awesome guy to work with. He's taught me so much. I never thought I would ever want to be a sports broadcaster. I never thought, I mean, I've always wanted to be some kind of broadcaster because I love video games, and I always wanted to stream video games and actually talk and have a fan base following me. And I've always wanted to be in front of the camera, but I never thought I would ever have the opportunity. And he's given me that opportunity to work with the Macon Mayhem team and be able to be a part of all this. And it's been a blessing for me, and I love the guy for it. Honestly, I feel like he's my best guy friend that I've ever had, and helping me with that. But you know, I digress. It's back to hockey. The SPHL President's Cup playoffs are here. In the first round, Macon's playing the Peoria Rivermen, as well as you got Pensacola Ice Flyers playing against the Huntsville Havoc. I feel like the Havoc have an advantage over that, and I think they're gonna upset that second seed, especially Pensacola, who's having a lot of issues with goaltending, and that defense is something not to brag about at all. They struggle a lot, and I really think Huntsville's going to take that series. Mississippi River Kings are playing against the Louisiana Ice Gators. The Ice Gators have been great at the end of the season. They started off 3/4 of the season in the bottom 2, bottom 3, and they just somehow miraculously boosted up into the 6th seed, and now they're playing against Mississippi. Couple notable things about the Ice Gators is they got a couple of former Macon Mayhem players, and Matt Robertson, who was one of my favorite players here in Macon when he was here. I was sad to see him go, but I understand why. And Anton Lenardson. When we released Lenardson, Louisiana picked him up in a hurry, and I think he's having a great time there, and I hope to see him in a Mayhem uniform next year. He's a great guy, the big Swede. I love that guy. He's amazing. But honestly, I feel like Mississippi's going to take that. Mississippi's a much better complete team. They've been together a lot. The River Kings haven't made that much moves this season at all, and they just got one of their veteran, better players back from the ECHL. So I think Mississippi's going to take that, no problem. The next series is Fayetteville Fire Ants versus the Knoxville Ice Bears, and to me that is the series I'm most excited to actually see unfold, because both of those teams, every time both of those teams have played Macon, it's been a nail biter, and a very entertaining game to watch, back and forth action. And those two type of teams play very similar playing style, very physical, very hard-nosed type of hockey. And honestly, if I'm not watching the Macon Mayhem play, I'm gonna watch those games. I'm actually gonna pay money to watch those games on the internet, because I'm actually interested to see how that unfolds this weekend. But I feel like the Fayetteville Fire Ants are on fire going into the playoffs, much like the Macon Mayhem, and I think they're gonna go. Honestly, I really think they're gonna go all the way and win the President's Cup this year. And I feel like the Macon Mayhem actually have a chance to go all the way and face them in the finals. If not, then I think Mississippi will be there to face them in the finals, because it's either going to come down to the Macon Mayhem and the Fire Ants, or the River Kings and the Fire Ants. But either way, I think the Fire Ants are going to come out and win it all the way. It was fun because we shot a video. That's why I'm dressed up. We shot a playoff video, preview picture for the entire first round today at the Coliseum. And, me, Casey, and Al, we all three had very similar but also very different brackets of how we think everything is going to go with this playoff series, or with the entire playoffs. But in all, we all three agreed that Fayetteville is going to be in the final. All three of us agreed. Al has Macon winning it all. Me and Casey both have Fayetteville winning it all. Casey actually has Macon falling out against Peoria in the first round. I actually have them beating Peoria in the first round, but losing in the second round to Mississippi River Kings. So yeah, to me that final is going to be a toss-up. If Macon beats River Kings, then I think Fayetteville is going to give them a hard time, but I think Fayetteville is going to come out on top. If Mississippi faces Fayetteville in the end, I have a slight edge still to Fayetteville, but honestly, to me, that series can be anybody's series. It can be Fayetteville's, it can be Mississippi's. But that the playoffs just started, so we'll see how everything unfolds. And I'm going to continue making videos, especially for the entire playoff series. I'm going to let you know how I feel about Game 1 tomorrow and Game 2 on Friday, and if necessary, Game 3 on Saturday. Either way, if Macon drops out of the playoffs, I'm still going to make a couple of videos in the off season. Whatever I do at the Coliseum with Al and the Macon Mayhem, whatever, I'll continue trying to update the channel and seeing how everything goes. And then in the obviously next season, I'm going to do a video for every single game. I started late this season, but that's only because I joined the operations very, very late into the season. I was always invested in it, but I never thought there was some kind of way that I could express how I feel through the entire season until late, of course. But I've already made 2 videos. To me, they were very successful and enjoyable to make, so I'm going to continue making more, and we're going to do this for every season from now on, after every game. And I'm proud to be a Macon Mayhem fan. I'm proud to be a part of the organization, even as a volunteer right now and intern. But I'm hoping that I can actually get a career out of this and help it grow and make it more. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this with me. Comment on the video if you want to have anything to say or any kind of questions you want to ask. Also, if you liked the video, please like it, give it a like, because that honestly really helps me. And subscribe to the channel when you want to see more and help me grow a fan base for the Macon Mayhem. As I'm probably one of the biggest fans out there, and as you can see, I from the beginning of this video in the intro, I freaking love this team. I live and breathe hockey, and I love this organization, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I hope to be able to continue more and do more videos. But guys, see you on the next video.